Okay, so welcome back. So let's have module 7 for today, and that is statement of the problem. So this is our learning activity sheet 7 based on the modules provided by the division and the region office. So may pag-merge na gano'n. So this is a collaborative effort by all of the practical Research1 teachers. So let's start. So last time we talked about the rationale of the problem. So that's the justification. So sinasabi mo kung bakit mo ginagawa yung research mo. Which is important. Kailangan mo naman talaga i-explain kung bakit mo ginagawa yung research mo. And now, let's go to the parang pinaka-heart, not, yeah, pinaka-heart ng mismo research. It is the statement of the problem. Ito yung parang direction mo eh. This is the ultimate life of the research. So for every problem, there would be an answer. So for every answer, there could be a question. So a problem without a clear question in mind is like seeking for an answer in a directionless manner. Like what I've mentioned earlier, ito yung nagsaset ng direction kung saan papunta si student researcher. You must remember that establishing research questions may guide you in the quest to address some academic issues. So kapag ito na-establish mo na maayos, magiging maayos din ang pag-unfold ng research journey mo. Remember that these questions may serve as your compass, as if you were navigating at sea in order to reach the target destination. Same goes with real life situation. If you have a question in mind, doon magbe-base yung mga actions na gagawin mo sa buhay mo. So same goes with statement of the problem in research. This will fuel you. This will give you the way, the map on how you're going to create your research because in the first place, ito yung sinasagot mo. Now that you have already had enough reasons and justification to pursue a study so as to address a problem you perceived from your environment, ngayon, kailangan mo i-concretize yung study mo by crafting your problem through specifying research questions. Okay? So ito, what's in. So you have to select the term. So ito, kaya nyo na to. So these are practically um, parts of the research introduction. Okay? You have the rationale, the seriousness of the problem, literature foundation, general objective, and setting of the problem. So you can do that already. So Anthony and Jessica are planning to repair their house. What do you think should be the necessary tools they will be needing? So iniisip nila kung ano yung kailangan nilang tools para magawa yung bahay na yun. So there, similar to a house, kailangan mo ng appropriate tools sa research. So our research problem demands the appropriate research questions in order to be answered. So kailangan, napaka-importante ng statement of the problem, the research problem, and the research questions because those would actually dictate what kind of research design you would use, what kind of tools that you'll be using for you to answer that particular question. So parang ganito, titignan mo yung paligid mo, iisip ka, anong problema ba yung kailangan kong i-address? So far, create ka ng sarili mong question, magre-research ka, magdi-data gather ka, at sasagutin mo yung sarili mong question. So, statement of the problem. After the researcher has clearly presented the rationale of the problem, the formulation of the targeted and well-defined problem must follow. So, ano ba yung well-defined problem? This is the statement of the problem. So, stating clearly the problem can make the vagueness, yung kalabuan ng study to be clarified. Okay? So, kumbaga, kung may mga malabong parte, ito yung magka-clarify. Ano ba talaga yung gusto niya sagutin? Ano ba yung gusto niya tumbukin? Para bang ganito siya. Kung wala kang statement of the problem, parang gusto mo ligawan yung isang tao, pero hindi ka nagtatanong kung pwede siyang maging girlfriend mo. Parang ganun. May actions, pero walang klarong tanong. So, sa pagtatanong mo, sa pagsistate mo ng problem, alam ni reader at kung sino mang audience mo kung anong gusto mong masagot. Okay? Writing the problem statement in a qualitative research. So, ayun, in formulating the problem statement in a research paper, there are two types of problems which should be considered. So that's the general problem and the specific problem. So the general problem pertains to the opening paragraph that gives specific details on other essential elements, which are the purpose, major variables, participants, setting, and time coverage of the study. So the set elements serve as a guide for you to properly formulate the general problem. So ito yung mga guidelines according to the reference that we used. The general problem should clearly state the main task of the researcher. Kung ano ba yung gagawin ni researcher. The general problem should present the major variables. Ano ba yung mga variables? Diba we have two types? We have the dependent and independent variables that are related to the phenomenon to be investigated. Kaya kadalasan yung mga terms na makikita mo sa title, na makikita mo rin sa statement of the problem, sila yung mga major variables mo. And the general problem should identify the participants, okay? The general problem should state the research setting as well as the time period of the study. So the general problem also must indicate kung may intended output ba siya, like halimbawa, intervention program, modules, policies. So example, back lang natin. So, ba tayo? So the study aims to determine the functions of emojis in an online communication. So, ayun, i-determine niya ito na yung actually, ito yung goal. The study was conducted among the different strands of grade 11 students in the senior high school department of Lamao National High School during the school year 2019-2020. Sino yung mga participants? Grade 11 students from different strands ng senior high school department. Anong school? Lamao National High School during the school year. Kailan? Time setting? Time period, 2019 to 2020. So ano yung result? A learning content presentation strategy in language teaching. So nandun yung main task. Ayan, determine the functions. Okay? Nandun yung school years, nandun yung participant, nandun yung output. Okay? So after formulating the general problem of the study, enumeration of specific problems should follow. So ito kapag sinabi mo, ano yung general picture, ano yung tinatry mong target, ano yung output mo. So ano yung mga kasunod na gagawin mo. So, by the way, students, my dear learners, basta nandun yung sample, nandun yung mga parts na kailangan mong ilagay, walang problema. Okay? So there. After formulating the general problem of a study, ilalagay mo na yung mga specific problems. Okay? Pero, my dear students, yung paggawa ng questions, research questions, depende sa research type. Iba yung balangkas ng qualitative research questions sa quantitative research questions. So, para maging researchable din yung question, dapat nasa what, how, okay? Hindi yung yes or no questions. Kasi kung yes or no, hindi talaga siya statement of the problem or research questions. Bakit mo pa siya nilagay, di ba? Masasagot mo naman ng yes or no. Ito yung samples ng mga non-researchable questions. Do the participants use social media platforms for their communication purposes? Yes or no lang yung sagot dito. Do, are, can, will. Ayan, yes or no questions yan. So, hindi mo yan gagamitin sa research question mo. Pwede ba itong gamitin, ma'am? Yes, pwede to kung sa survey mo sa quantitative research. Researchable questions, what are the most frequently used emojis by the participants in the corpus? What are the pragmatic functions of emojis in the corpus? How do multiple emojis affect the meaning of the discourse? What learning content presentation strategy can be proposed based on the results of the study? So, pansinin nyo, what, how, what. Ito yung mga researchable kasi hindi lang iisa yung sagot eh. Pwedeng madami, pwedeng iba-iba. Tapos itong do, are, can, will, bawal kasi yes or no lang yan. Tapos, kung mapapansin nyo, yung mga questions sa qualitative, yung mga tanong nila, pwedeng madaming sagot or iba-iba yung sagot. Hindi lang siya number, more on description ang hinihingi ng mga questions. Okay, halimbawa, what is beauty for you? What have you experienced in this phenomenon? Something like that. Okay? Now that you already know you have already know the considerations in stating a research problem, pwede na tayo mag-start. Okay? So, sige, tulungan ko kayo sa mga to. Given that nandito na rin naman tayo. Sino-sino pa may magtutulungan kung di tayo din? Char. Okay, there. So, let's start with this. Hindi ko sasagutin lahat ha, huwag ka madaya. Char. Pero no char. Okay. Identify the elements by analyzing the general problem provided below. Write your answers on the notebook. Ano yung main task? O ito, tutulungan kita dahil umabot ka sa point ng pakikinig dito. Okay, so, ano yung main task? O ito, hinighlight ko This is the main task. What's the major variable? Sige, isipin mo muna kung ano yung major variable. O, ano sa tingin mo? Ito. Okay, hindi ko sasabihin, kailangan tumitingin ka sa screen. Participants, sige dahil nakinig ka, ito naman ang mga participants. Okay, ayan. Tapos, setting, here. And then intended output, okay, this. Hindi nakasama yan. Ayan, yun yung intended output. O, di may 5 points ka na. Okay. So, state 4 researchable specific questions based on the given. Okay, so I think I should provide more examples on how to write research questions. Okay, so open ko lang yung file. So I'm gonna use this module by Miss Uzi. Kami lang din nag-edit. So, supplement siya para dito. So, here, writing a research title. So if we might have talked about this earlier, but let's have a recap. So a research title, as I've mentioned, connected yan, aligned yan sa central question or the central question or the general question of study, at coherent yan sa mga specific questions. So characteristics of effective titles, it includes the subject and the scope of the study. Actually, pwede siya na yung mismo title mo, ginawa mo lang question para sa central questions mo. It has no abbreviation, catches the attention of readers, nandun yung key variables, both dependent and independent, reveals organization of the paper, suggests potential relationship between variables, and has 10 to 15 substantive words, and it usually avoids the word study of, analysis of, as much as possible. It is in a phrase, hindi siya sentence, hindi siya question, pero yung iba ngayon kasi tinatry nila maging creative. Pero pwede ka naman maging creative na hindi ka gumagawa ng paragraph, okay? Uses correct grammar and capitalization that are in the first and last words of the title capitalized. Rarely uses exclamation point. Bakit galit ka? Avoid words like results, methods, investigations. It should be self-explanatory and contains the main idea of the entire paper. Ito yung source namin. And then requirements for a research title, ito yung summary of the main ideas of the paper. It should be in a statement form. Ito yung statement form ng main research question. Major variables nandun, self-explanatory, and dinidescribe niya yung participants. Ito yung formula for a good research title. Okay, type of research, plus topic, plus variables, plus locality. Although sa iba, optional tong type of research. This formula may not necessarily be in such order. Pwede siyang, hindi siya strictly like this. So, for example, lived experiences, yung type of research, topic of wives with alcoholic husbands in Pampanga, yun yung locality. At an ethnographic exploration, anong topic? Persistent technological failures ng synchronous online education. Pwede naman din na perception in yung type of senior high school students. Ito yung isa sa mga signal words na kung anong klaseng research yun. But technically, if you're talking about this as the topic, perception of senior high school students and teachers towards cooperative learning saan? Corak, Pampanga. Okay? So, in creating the title page, saka na lang to. So, move on tayo sa paggawa ng research question. Okay? So, you have to consider and examine literature, which you have done in your introduction na. discuss your ideas with others, apply the idea to a specific context, and dapat nandun yung objectives. Kasi yun magkakonnect sila eh. Objectives mo, yung goal mo, yung title mo, yung research question mo, yung general problem mo, iisa lang yan kung titignan mo. Okay? So ito yung mga examples sa mga research titles. Okay? So, although this may be vague, you can make it more specific pa. But there are studies na yun nga iba yung attempt nila sa pagta-title. So, ayan. Yun yung sa research title. Okay, let's go to research questions. So, ito, pang supplement lang, written statement of the problem, ginawa namin ni Ms. Uzi. Okay? So, hi, Ma'am Shalene. Okay. So, ito yung, pwede nyo gamitin itong pattern for the purpose statement. The purpose statement, this is a part that you may include, okay? Purpose of this anong type na research is to, ayan yung mismong function or yung goal or yung task, then the central phenomenon of the study. 4D, okay, ayan, the site or setting. At this stage, the research, ano yung central phenomenon mo or main topic will be generally defined as, tas ano yung general definition. Pwede natin tong consider din for the general problem, di ba, nilagay natin kanina. So, ito yung mga scripts sa paggawa mo ng central questions for qualitative. So, what and how kadalasan ng mga ginagamit? What is the meaning? What is the meaning of or what does it mean to? Tapos yung central phenomenon or topic. Or how would participants describe the central phenomenon? Example, what does it mean to differentiate the customs of the Badjaus in the provinces and the Badjaus in the city? So what, how? What does it mean to characterize the learning styles of honor students? How would school managers describe interpersonal competencies? How would the top 10 high school students characterize their learning styles? Sub-question script, what aspect does the participant engage in as a central phenomenon? Or what do we mean? Ano yung concept? What level of self-concept does, sino yung participant, the school heads, have to deal with the interpersonal competencies? Ito yung topic, okay? Aspect, pwede siyang characteristic, one of the variables, okay? What nature of practices, yun yung aspect. Do, sino participant natin, Bajaus, engage in as a part of their customs and traditions. Then lastly, what, anong aspect, kind of preparations, does, sino participants, does the honor students engage in as indicator of their general learning styles. So, kapansin-pansin dito na meron naman tayong script, okay? Meron naman tayong pattern na yan. Nilalagay ko dyan na this can help you formulate your research questions easily. So, I hope that's clear with you. We have the research problem. We could also have the problem statement. And then you have the central question and the sub-questions. All are in alignment with each other. At yung central question mo, kadalasan pwede mo siyang i-convert to your title. Okay? Pero kadalasan nandun. Kapag sa title, nandun yung research type, nandun yung variables, nandun yung locality, nandun yung setting, or even the period. Okay? So I hope you've understood our topic for today. Kung may tanong kayo, you may ask. Okay? Then gagawin ko ng video afterwards. Okay? So I hope you've learned something for today. Bye!